Want to turn your passion for drawing into a full-time career? Discover our courses at Brushcamp where you become a master in the realm of digital painting. Brushcamp offers tons of similar courses in illustration, 2D, 3D design. Level up your creativity with free knowledge and courses. Visit brushcamp.com today and explore endless possibilities.
Welcome to Sketching course. We are going to learn about Part 2, Plant. Lesson 4, Leaves and Flowers. As you see on my screen, I listed some types of flowers and leaves in nature. This lesson is about leaves and flowers, but I will mainly focus on some types of leaves, because flowers are more diverse than leaves, and it's a bit difficult to talk about all of it in a lesson. Because as you see on my screen, I found out 3 types of flowers. It's very complicated. Only this type is simple. It's fine to learn about this structure. This type is very complicated, and it's not easy to sketch. So we will study intensively about types of leaves. First of all, I will talk about the structure of leaves in nature. I hope that you can listen clearly. I will talk about the structure of leaves in nature. The structures in nature are beautiful. You can see the symmetry of some types of leaves and mushrooms. They are beautifully distributed, and I think it's the miracle of nature. You can see some types of leaves on screen. We can describe it geometrically or simple structure. If we learn about it, I'll try describing a leaf. Tap V and tap and hold Control. If you don't choose Auto Select, click on the picture. This layer is selected automatically. I choose this picture. Lower the opacity. I'll try analyzing. What geometrical structures do these natural leaves have? We have to admit that almost leaves have symmetry. I'm choosing brush and changing the size. When you draw the axis of symmetry of this leaf, you will see that its symmetry is quite high, except some unevenly divided leaves. It's not your homework. You only need to look at these leaves and study about their symmetry. You can see that this leaf is similar to a spade. You should practice drawing. This is the basic structure. The more you practice, the more proficient you will be. Draw comfortably. This picture is an exercise folder. You can open it and practice with me. The most important part of sketching course is always drawing. You can draw whenever you are happy, sad. The more you practice, the more proficient you will be, and the more image gallery will be expanded. You can get many achievements when you study hard. It's worth drawing when you want to be an artist, or anyone doing drawing work. This leaf is very symmetrical. When you draw both sides too similar, it will be mechanical stereotypically and boring. So we will have gesture lines. For example, when drawing a character, we will draw the gesture first. I will create rhythm in this gesture first. Then I put meat on that character. Then it's called a gesture. I don't know if gestures can be used for leaves, but the common point is that it will create flow for the character and the leaf. So we will practice the flow of a leaf. It will make your hands more flexible and make the leaves look more lively. We will try to draw. We have a picture here. You can see this picture has a lot of leaves, and it's from many angles, many shapes. And the leaves are not stiff, they are flexible. In nature there are many kinds of leaves like this. It looks quite boring. And you won't get much practice just drawing leaves without curvature like this. In the illustration course, I highly recommend drawing a leaf that is more soulful and has more curl. You can redraw this shape as a geometric structure. I will try it for you guys. I will follow the structure, then draw again. It's the same as in the previous post. That is, we draw the structure first, then draw the details. And add material description. Press Ctrl+T to enlarge it. Reduce opacity. We will analyze the structure part. Smooth lines. Branch. You don't need to outline the entire leaf. Just sketch some of the leaves above. The layout of the leaves is quite complicated. I'm drawing the line. You can see the natural leaves have natural curvature, but it's not always just one shape. If you draw a lot of leaves, there will be many letters showing pictures of leaves. The more things you draw, the more image libraries there will be. When you draw again, you will draw well. If you want to draw well, you should draw the center axis first. Subtract some hidden corners. Even if you draw a new branch, you should also draw the front axle. I'm drawing a pot. We will draw the tree like this. We draw branches. You have to be familiar with how to build with a structure, like this. You can see that without drawing the leaves. It looks like a dry tree. Because it's the same in real life, the leaves will gradually fall and eventually only dry branches remain. You guys can draw with me right now. Now I will draw the leaves. This is a simple tree. You should learn some ways to draw trees, so that I can draw my big perspective paintings later on. Trees are always present in many paintings. The applicability of the tree is very high. I finished drawing the tree in a simple way. It's simple. That's how to draw a tree. I think the exercises of this lesson are very good. In the illustration, you draw the leaves as smooth as possible. That means ignore the realistic element. Doesn't need to be too similar to reality. Of course, some paintings will require that element. If I'm illustrating, I'll draw it so it's more stylized. Include your personality and style. There should not be many realistic elements that make your picture worse. The more smooth you draw these lines, the more flexible your hand will be. You guys just look and draw how this leaf has curvature. Please try to create the most perfect tree. Because this is a drawing, I was able to change the reality to some extent. Drawing like this, the picture will look more harmonious. It has the curvature of a leaf, but it won't be the same. You can draw natural style, but you will find it boring. Drawing this way feels lyrical. That's my personal experience. You can also choose a realistic style, it's up to you. But most of the time it will be like that. We see many different shapes of leaves. And note some cases. You can see that each leaf has a sufficient curvature. And each leaf we should also learn from reality like this. We won't draw leaves like this. But let's draw a curved line. Like this. Then you draw the leaves. You will see these two leaves are completely different. Just follow these steps to draw. The leaves always have just enough curl. But don't be too curvy. Please look at this picture. It looks so smooth. Some types of leaves will clearly show the veins ribs of the leaves. The leaves in this picture are not very prominent. So we don't need to draw more veins for the leaves. We just drew a few faint lines. In the illustration, the more you draw the line, the more dirty it will be. When you study in Course 2, you will see how drawing lines affects the picture. And the use of line thickness. While sketching, we create as many visualizations as possible. I will save this file. I will send it to you if you want. We will see the results. The leaves look very lively, not boring. Leaves have structures. And you are forced to follow that structure. A leaf has properties like this. Do you know this type of leaves? The worst don't allow to do when drawing this leaf is that the sides are not symmetrical, and the distance of the side to the center of gravity is not equal. I will draw it. This is the focus. The two sides are asymmetrical. As far as I know, most of them will be like this. You always draw the stalk first. You draw the center of gravity of the leaf. If you want it to be even, you have to draw the outer border. If there's any excess, I'll leave it out. Once you have this structure, lower the opacity. Draw one new leaf. You just need to draw the structure. Like this. The two sides must be symmetrical. The more standard the structure, the more standard its leaves. The structure I drew is not very good. It will have better effect. Avoid some cases where the leaves you draw are flat. Like this. There will be no leaves like that. When you finish drawing, you must know that this leaf is skewed. I will model for you. If you draw like this, This is the petiole. Then the leaf structure will look like this. When it's closer to my eyes, I can see the back of the leaf. I will see these two sides, but it won't be like this. Those are some notes when we draw leaves. Flowers too. This part we need to describe the material more, and how to use the structure to complete the rendering. From these two pictures, I will try for you. Your homework will also have two parts. That's the basic part and the advanced part. The basic part is that the trees are more simple. The advanced part is more complicated and higher technical requirements. I will try to draw these two trees. Here's how you do the exercises. Lower opacity. Then analyze it. Then start to finish drawing. You don't finish drawing all at once. We won't learn anything from it. I will draw the structure of this card. This leaf is a bit ugly. We draw the petiole first, then draw the border. Correct description of the material. Then you just leave it at 100% opacity, then draw along. Quick structure drawing. But you guys do it slowly. That means it doesn't take much time to draw. But please draw it slowly. This tree has some fruit. I don't know what it is. This tree seems to be called Lucky Tree. I put it in the office. You draw its structure. The lower part has small grass leaves. We will draw more details in the description of the material. Here too. Press Shift+M to change to a circle. Create another layer. Choose the right brush. Then delete it. Then combine the two layers together. Select both layers and press Shift and click. Then you press Ctrl+C. Then it will merge like this. Then draw the potted plant. You should use the pen tool. You will have a simple structure. Usually you should just draw the petiole. But this tree has many alternate leaves, so please draw the leaves like this. This is a rough sketch that most people sketch like this, on most big pictures. That is, people will sketch the structural face for easier drawing details and high accuracy. I'll reduce the opacity of this one. Then look at the available pictures and draw it in your style. But don't overwrite the picture like before. This time we already have the structure. We can draw confidently. You guys try to draw smoother lines. This place has one fold. Draw a curve for the leaves. Remember to draw the petiole first. These leaves will be very beautiful if you know the color scheme. I really want to teach you how to use colors, but you have to learn how to sketch first. We have to go step by step. When we use all of our brains to do something, we will do something. When you only focus on sketching, the maximum effect will be achieved. And when you have to care about many things such as sketching, choosing colors, then you can get errors in many steps. Most people who are just starting to learn to draw will make this mistake. Just focus on one thing, then learn each part one by one. Let's start drawing more carefully. You guys avoid drawing objects that are flattened. Draw it a little thicker. This is just an illustration, so it doesn't need to be too realistic, but it will show more of the artist's ideas. This place will have our shadow. We will draw these fruits. It's structured so it's easier to draw. You don't need to add a lot of texture by hand for so much fruit, because it looks dirty. It's easier to draw once it's structured. Structure table for rendering. You can add texture gently. It has many shaders. If you want to draw gentle pictures, limit drawing black shadows. And if you want to create a shape only through black strokes, you should paint this black. This is the direction of the light. Draw only shadows in dimly lit places. Please observe the reality. Draw them naturally. Draw them like this. You will create its own nature. When you draw meticulously, the visual effect will be very good. If you are lazy, your painting will lack sophistication. Because the direction of light is on this side, so the dark area is on the left side. Here is its structure. So this part will have lots of shadows, and draw with as many lines as possible. If this picture were colored, it would be easier for us to draw. It will be very nice if you draw the shadows in detail. Highlights are less detailed. Paint these balls. It will be a bit complicated because the shadows of these fruits are on very small leaves. You draw its shape first. Then paint it black. Next is the pot. This pot has a pretty curve. You guys can draw it in your style. When you draw flower pots in your homework, you can decorate the flower pots more with textures or whatever you want. For example, I will draw one more piece of paper. Remember that the piece of paper must follow the form of the pot. Like the potted plant I put in the office. Here is a piece of masking tape. When glue is applied to an object, that object will be blurred. So this line will be thinner. Decorate to make your work more impressive. Remember that this pot has a curve, so the bottom of the paper will have a shadow on the pot. I'm just drawing a symbol, please draw it in more detail. I want your results to be as good as this and more. Can add one eraser here. This is the 3-point perspective. Do you know why this is a 3-point perspective? Because it has two sides. And there is one side on top. It has suction. We can see the top. Two sides. Eraser is in the corner of 3-point. I draw more rulers. It's a potted plant. You can apply a lot of the knowledge I said to do basic exercises. Draw a pot of plants. I have prepared basic and advanced exercises. If you have already drawn the basic exercise, then do the advanced exercise to improve your level. And if you find the advanced exercises too difficult, just do the basic exercises. Next I will learn how to draw flowers. The more closely you observe, the easier it will be to do the exercises. You know all the rules. You should draw the structure first. Regarding the lecture part, I will draw directly to show you. I'll draw the stem of the flower. Here. When drawing the structure, you will draw it like this. I will work on the structure part. Don't skip it. I think this is an artificial branch, but it's okay. I define the stem of the branch like this. This is the leaf behind it. We only need to define the flow of the leaf in the structure part. This is the structure. You draw like this. If you draw the structure enough, you will learn more. You will learn more from real picture. Because when drawing the structure carefully, memorization and drawing will decrease. Your image library will be less. You draw the structure just enough. When you finish studying, do your homework, so you already know how to do the exercises. Let's start with the stem of the flower tree. This tree has a crooked line. It's too big, so I'll draw it again. We will determine the thickness first. My lesson plan did not draw before, but now I draw. So when I draw, I will have some mistakes and have to fix it. We learn while drawing. See if what I have researched is okay or not. I'm studying, doing, thinking, and showing you guys. No need to prepare lesson plans too much in advance. Mainly we learn to gain more knowledge, but when it comes to practice, everyone has a different style. I draw the flow of this leaf beautifully. Even if it's a fake tree, please don't draw it 100% as a fake tree. Try to draw it as best as you can. This leaf looks so beautiful. It has a very nice curvature. I believe that when you draw leaves like this, your hands will be more flexible. Press Ctrl plus C2 and do the strokes you just drew. Listen to the lecture before drawing. Otherwise, you may miss out on important knowledge. Now I will draw the hardest part, which is the flower part. I draw the nearest leaf first. Create curvature. This leaf has a beautiful curve. You can draw a new layer, it's up to you. Next is the leaf here. Draw petiole. This is an advanced exercise, so it's quite difficult. You draw according to your feelings. If you had some knowledge of painting before, now you will draw it in an easier way. For those of you who don't know how to draw, try to complete the basic exercise. Then you can switch to advanced later. Draw both if you can. I appreciate it. There's a petal here. I am drawing pistil. Select eraser to erase excess strokes. I finished drawing the flower. Draw more small leaves around. I turned off the structure part layer. I create shadows and textures. I chose the source of the light to be this side. You can choose a light source like this picture. These dots are always bold no matter what the light. This part is difficult to describe if you only use line. I think if you are studying architecture, it will be much easier. You can draw the head of the statue in a soft way. This part doesn't catch the light, so we add shadows. This part is easier to draw shadows. This painting is quite similar to the sketch, but you can describe the material this way. In the illustration course, I will show you how to draw lines and when to draw lines. Not every painting is beautiful if you draw too many lines. If we colored this picture, it won't be pretty, because there are many lines. Draw shadows for leaves. Remember that the shadow must have the same curvature as the leaf. Art Job Training has a sketching course. You can sign up to learn more about creating blocks. And when we draw illustrations, we only draw enough lines. I hope you will complete the exercise like this. This is a flower tree with lines and textures. Gently, we have 2 types of homework. I will open it for you to see. You can choose more pictures in the folder. Here are 2 types of homework. It is a basic exercise and an advanced exercise. More complex advanced exercises. Remember to create a black shadow when drawing. I will give you an example about advanced exercises. The leaves are behind you, just draw the shape. This is my experience. You draw the leaves in the front in detail. Behind we will draw a shape and fill it like this. It creates the effect of the leaves in the background being blurred. It helps to highlight the leaves in the foreground. Leaves like this, I just draw the edges. Notice the extra light on the leaves. Remember to draw leaf veins, shadows, light. We will understand the correction image and the secondary image in an exercise like this. The nearest leaves will be the main image. Draw it in detail. The leaves in the back are secondary images. You just need to black out. Fill in the dark areas with darker colors. Basic exercises are simpler. First of all, we have to locate the stump. Then draw the branches. Remember to draw the structure first. Although it will tire you out, it makes your hands more supple. It's a way to practice. The flowers in the middle are simpler. This lesson mainly helps you learn to draw the flow of leaves, and it makes your hands more supple. The following exercises will become a little more difficult day by day, but if you practice hard, it will become easier. We will have two types of exercises, basic and advanced. You all have to do the basic exercises. It's your choice whether you want to do advanced exercises or not. I hope you can complete both types of exercises. Whether you already know how to draw a little, or don't know how to draw, try to do both. Please draw the structure table first. That is the knowledge of lesson for leaves and flowers. And this lesson mainly focuses on leaves. Hope you will finish the exercise. Thank you and wish you good health.
Please like and subscribe to our channel.